Well, you saw how fun the great all is. Honestly, didn't show you much on the tire train aspect, but I never did show you anything about a cutting edge. I know in my last video I said I wasn't going to, but I might as well. Just so you know that you don't always have to use a torch. Hopefully you don't always have to use a torch. So I've got this bucket right here, and as you can see, I'll show you, I'll flip the camera around in a second. The cutting edge is gone and it's questionable on whether it's flippable or not. So when you're working with skid steers, this is your cutting edge down here for those of you that don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are into heavy equipment and a lot of them kind of, you know, they're fascinated by it, but they don't really understand the repair and maintenance of it. So this right here, when you meet your bucket lip, you know you're done. And this blade looks like it hasn't been flipped yet. The measurement is about right there. So I've got 1.25 inches over here, and I've got about 2.5 over here. So it's questionable on whether you can go ahead and flip it or not. But when you get to this point, it needs to come off regardless. So these are what I'm talking about right here. So you've got a 74.5 inch cutting edge, an 80-inch cutting edge, and a 48-inch cutting edge. The 48 is for excavators, and both of these are for skid steers. This is the bigger bucket, so the 80-inch blade is what I got to go with. But when you're questioning everything, number one, measure the length of your bucket so you know the blade you got. And then if you're questioning flipping it, measure from the center of this hole to the edge. And then measure your blade you have on that you're questioning from the center of the bolt to the edge that you're questioning to flip to. And if it's the same measurement, then you know if you can flip it. Now when it goes back to your bucket work, make sure you blow those Allen wrenches out with air if you have the ability to. If not, you can get away with just the hook pick. But you're definitely going to need an impact. And I believe these are a 15/16. So, but I will double check that. Yep, 15/16. Another quick thing you want to keep in mind is sometimes you might need to get new bolts or already have new bolts, because every once in a while you got to hammer the Allen wrench in just to get it to go in. So now we got to beat this thing off. So yeah, one more very important thing when you're doing this on a machine, if you're doing it by yourself or you're doing it with help, regardless, these blades get heavy. Get a floor jack. And just support it as you're taking them all off. It's so much easier. You can end up doing this one person. Every once in a while you get the stubborn ones that literally don't have anything left for an Allen to bite into at all. So you grab your best friends right here and just cut them off. And in case you guys didn't notice, when we cut that off, when he was beating it with a hammer, it shifted the jack, but it still deflected the blade back up underneath the bucket so it didn't fall on toes or anything like that. And just like that, that's one of the reasons why I said get a jack. Check this out. So all I've got to do is just line it up, put the bolts through, and you're done. And just like that, you got your new cutting edge on it. You can see the difference right there. That's how you know you got a good cutting edge or when you got to replace it. Is when all this right here is even with that.